I sensed something was off the moment she glanced at me. Not anger, not sadness, just amusement, as if she were watching a show. We were sitting across from each other at our anniversary dinner when her phone lit up. This time she didn't bother to hide the grin. No excuses, no pretending. Then he strolled into the restaurant, relaxed, sure of himself, the kind of confidence that only comes from believing you've already won. Before I could say a word, she spoke loudly enough for the tables around us to fall silent. Yes, I'm seeing him. And no, I don't regret it. Her voice didn't shake. It was triumphant, almost gleeful. She stood up, slipped her hand into his, and walked out as though she hadn't just carved through 11 years of my life with a single sentence. The waiter approached and asked if I wanted dessert. The absurdity almost made me laugh. Instead, I checked my phone. A notification was waiting. Delivery set for tomorrow. Signature required. Good. I pushed back my chair, placed my napkin on the table, and stepped out into the cold air. I wasn't heartbroken or confused, just hollow in a way that felt strangely productive. People think betrayal crashes into you like thunder. Mine arrived like a soft exhale. Her confession wasn't what broke me. It was the memory that followed, the one she didn't know I carried. 3 weeks earlier, during one of her sudden anxiety spells, I noticed her wrist, bruised, marked by fingers that weren't mine. She'd tugged her sleeve down the second she realized I'd seen. Don't worry about it, she'd said. Of course I worried. And tonight, seeing her walk out proudly with him, everything clicked. Those weren't accidents. They were claims. His. And she had chosen to accept them. The pain didn't come from losing her. It came from understanding she'd been lost long before she announced it to me, and that I'd been dragged into her fantasy, without knowing. But shock is a tool. It slows everything down, sharpens every thought. I needed that clarity. I didn't confront her. Confrontation is for people seeking explanations. I wanted proof. Over the next several days, I did what I excel at, observing, quietly and systematically. Phone logs, bank statements, hotel charges, access records from her workplace. Nothing illegal, just information. Bit by bit, the truth took shape. She wasn't just having an affair. She'd constructed an entirely separate existence around him, extravagant gifts bought under fake identities, work emergencies that aligned perfectly with hotel stays, evenings she returned home smelling of cologne that wasn't mine. But what unsettled me most were the bruises. Their placement. Their repetition. My wife wasn't loved. She was possessed. And she believed walking away from our dinner gave her power. I let her believe it. Even sent her a simple, "Take care." She didn't reply. She mistook my silence for surrender. She had no idea what she'd be signing for the next morning. The envelope was delivered at 9:42 a.m. She accepted it herself. Inside were photos, receipts, documents. Every piece of her second life laid bare. And at the top, a printed capture from his profile where he described himself as recently divorced, 3 months before she confessed anything to me. She wasn't his partner. She was just the next step in his pattern. I arrived home just in time to hear her inhale sharply as she reached the end of the stack. She looked up, pale, her confidence gone. "How long have you known?" she asked. I didn't respond. Instead, I placed one final paper on the table, a medical report filed by his ex-wife detailing wrist injuries identical to the ones I'd seen on her. She collapsed into the nearest chair. "This isn't real," she whispered. But it was. I had gathered everything while she was too caught up in her illusion to notice. The package was only the conclusion. She reached toward me. Habit, fear, desperation, I don't know. I stepped back. "Why didn't you warn me?" she asked. I looked at her, really looked, and felt nothing at all. "You didn't want the truth," I said quietly. "You wanted the story you made up." Her lips trembled. Her world wasn't just cracking, it was dissolving exactly the way I intended, quietly and completely. I packed a single bag, left my key on the table, and closed the door gently behind me. No slamming, no theatrics, just the end of a sentence that had dragged on far too long. Outside, the air felt lighter. Not because I was free, but because she finally saw the bars she'd built around herself. She chased thrill and found her reflection instead. My revenge wasn't the documents. It was reality. And reality always arrives right on schedule. I walked away without turning back.